Week 5.
I'm Ron Harvey.
I'm Joe Timmons.
Me and Joe, we both went 6-7 week 4.
Yeah. And it looks like we're going to have the same problem this week because we all picked the same teams without even conversing.
Unless it goes well. If it goes well.
Oh, it goes well.
It's like the actual NFL this year. There's some weeks where we look really good. Like 2 weeks ago, we both looked great. Looked like we had turned the corner.
Yeah.
Last week we just 6-7, both 6-7. But this week, I think this is going to be, when the going get tough. The going gets tough.
The tough get rough.
The tough get rough. It's like Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
The late great Billy Ocean said.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Billy O.
Billy O.
But our first Sunday matchup we're going to preview is the Battle of Texas for Sam Houston's boot trophy. The trophy of Sam Houston's boot, or Stephen F. Austin's boot. I can't remember. A big silver cowboy hat, a giant Fabergé model of George H.W. Bush.
50 pounds of sweet Texas mesquite barbecue.
Barbecue beef brisket.
Brisket.
Yep. We got the Houston Texans, Ryan Fitzpatrick, heading to Cowboy Stadium and playing Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys, who looked great on Sunday Night Football.
Schmal Boys been good lately.
The Schmal Boys have been looking good. It's Rocktober. That's the best month for the Cowboys during the Tony Romo era. They look great in October. We'll go to Schmal Boys.
Boom. That's our pick. Schmal Boys.
Schmal Boys. Next one, we got the clash of the depressing Midwestern city teams. We got the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, just the awful town we live in.
Buffalo Jones Bills. And Detroit.
Even worse.
Even worse town to live. At least Buffalo, you got the Great Wings.
Oof. What do you got going on in either of those towns?
Buffalo, all you got is wings and football.
Wings, football, and suicide. And in Detroit, you got abandoned factories, crime, and suicide. That's it.
Saturday night at Joe Timmons' house.
So Buffalo heads to Detroit. Oh, it's just going to be a rough one. Just misery in the eyes of both those teams. I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, crossroads. Yeah, Detroit.
Detroit, I think, has been good and bad this season, but I think Buffalo has been bad and good, if that makes any sense. I think Detroit's had more shining moments than Buffalo's had, and they're playing at home. And again, my theory that nobody ever wants to go to Detroit because it's a creepy, terrifying, crime-ridden place. So the Buffalo Bills definitely are at a disadvantage being there.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Buffalo, they keep switching quarterbacks just like the Raiders do. And even if your quarterback sucks, you got to stick with him for a while. That's what happens with the Cowboys and Tony Romo. Like, he sucks sometimes, but then there's some weeks where he's good. And you're switching away from, DJ Manuel to Randy Orton's brother. He used to play for the Bears. He's starred now, and it's just inconsistent. They don't know. The offensive line doesn't know who they're supposed to protect. They're like, which guy is the quarterback? And, Ramakan Sue is going to just run all over Randy Orton's brother, Chris Orton.
This is Ramadan Sue's last season because he's just too violent for the league, and he decided to go out, this being his last year, as violent as humanly possible. So watch out if you're, Douglas Orton III, because you're probably going to get your head torn off and stepped on by a human being. 350-pound human beings.
He's going to go on to play probably in Mutant League football next year, like the old Sega Genesis game.
Yeah.
Mutant League football. That was a great game.
Classic.
We got to play some after this. We're done filming this. So we both have the Detroit Lions.
And we ain't lying.
And we ain't lying, winning at the new Silverdome in Detroit.
Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns, who nobody saw coming this season. Out of nowhere, the Cleveland Browns, one of the best teams in the NFL, versus the Tennessee Titans, who started out...
Again, look good. They're the opposite of the Cowboys. They beat up the Schmal Boys week 1.
Yeah, and then...
They've sucked ever since.
They've sucked ever since. We're both in agreement on this one. Cleveland Browns are going to go into Tennessee and kick some tits and cause a ruckus. And you're going to see some
Tim McGraw is going to be throwing his cowboy hat in anger.
Ooh, Tim McGraw, he's not going to be happy.
Now Garth Brooks will be kicking a fence.
Yeah, chain link or
chain link.
Picket?
Maybe a wrought iron fence.
Ooh.
He's so angry. He doesn't realize he's kicking a really hard fence.
Yeah.
It's not really malleable.
Yeah, that's
A wrought iron fence, like breaking his own toes.
That one kicks back.
He's so angry about how Curtis Painter, no,
Jerry
Lawler.
Jerry Lawler's third son, Jake Lawler.
Jake Lawler is playing at
Lucy
quarterback.
Wallace, not doing a very good job.
So yeah, Brandon, they don't need Johnny Football. It's amazing. I thought Johnny Football we'd see him more by now, but
Nah, Johnny Football is more like a. Remember when you had that '87 Trans Am?
Yep.
And you had the eagle painted on the front?
Absolutely. I can never forget.
The eagle didn't add anything as far as fuel efficiency or aerodynamics or anything like that. But it was more just there.
It made it look good.
Pretty and make people come out and check it out.
Talk about it. They talked about the eagle. They didn't talk about how smooth that car ran.
Yeah, when you rolled up to the parking lot of Arby's on a hot summer's day, you know why people were coming out there. They weren't coming out there to see Carlos Painter.
Yeah.
They were coming out there to see Johnny Hood Ornament.
Exactly.
Johnny airbrushed eagle with an American flag on the hood.
Yeah, man, those were the good old days, and they don't ask how the car runs, how much mileage they get.
No, they don't care about any of that. They're just saying, who did your work?
That's Johnny Manziel. He's the football version of a nice airbrush of a lady with big tits riding a unicorn.
Yeah,
riding
a U.S. Patriot missile with go get 'em boys.
I had that
side.
I had that during the Gulf War, the first Gulf War.
Yeah, I remember that. Next up, we got the Murderland Baltimore Murderers Ravens. A murder of Ravens heading to Indianapolis to play Andrew Not So Lucky these days. Mediocre at best. Colts. Me and Ron agree on this one, like we will be agreeing on all of them this week. We both go with the Baltimore Murderland Ravens to go back to, it used to be the Baltimore Colts. Then they moved to Indianapolis. And then
they're still mad.
They're still mad. There's still some animosity.
They don't forget grudges. If you're in Baltimore, and you stepped on some guy's shoe back in 1983.
Oh, he remembers. He still got those shoes.
He still got those shoes. He lives in Baltimore. He can't afford a new pair.
Yeah.
So they don't forget anything. And I think this Ravens team is mad.
Yeah.
People have been bad-mouthing them all these years. They remind me of the Raiders back in the 70s.
Your former all-star, all-pro, he murdered 2 guys, and you're like, oh, I know, he was really good. And you're like, your former running back beat his wife half to death in an elevator, and you're like, yeah, I know, but, we're still with you. Your quarterback's only got 1 eyebrow, and he's very inconsistent. And you're like, yeah, we won a Super Bowl with him, leave us alone. That's what Baltimore does.
That's what Baltimore does.
Basis. Baltimore is the 1-eyebrow, wife-beaten, gang member, crab cake eating team of the NFL. And you know what? We pissed them off to the point of fucking no return.
Absolutely. They I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but they're definitely, they look like a playoff team.
But they'll get you after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they might, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in the parking lot.
They might take out, poor Russell Wilson's kneecaps after the game.
Yeah. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I didn't think would win a single game this season. Neither did my cousin down in Tampa Bay. Think that they would win a single game this season. We thought they would get Jameis Rapist, what's his name, as the first-round pick at the end of the season.
He's from Florida, too.
So we thought that was what's going to happen. Looks like maybe the Raiders will have their chance at getting Jameis Rapist. I don't think they'll need him because they got Derek Carter. But they're going up against the New Orleans Saints, who have not looked good at all this year.
Struggling New Orleans
Drew
Saints.
Brees is showing his age, and his age is old. Very old.
Old.
And decrepit. And I think we both though had to go with the home team with our gut again.
Superdome, one of the great domes in the history of domes.
It is. I stayed there for 3 weeks during Hurricane Katrina, and it was some of the best 3 weeks of my life. Just the people, the atmosphere, the culture that I picked up in that arena was amazing. I remember pooping on the 50-yard line, and I thought it was amazing to just be in that sort of time in that piece of American history. So I'm going with the New Orleans Saints over the Tampa Bay Schmuccaneers any day of the week.
Tampa Bay sucks.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay suck, and he is.
Yeah, I like, they're going to have a good week this week. One of the few good weeks, I think, for the Saints.
Yeah. We'll go with the Saints both on that one. Next up, bang, bang, boom.
Traveling to Chris Christie Stadium.
Chris Christie Stadium, New York.
New Jersey, New York. The
Atlanta
Meadowlands.
Falcons.
That's still the Meadowlands.
Still the Meadowlands to some people.
The Dirty Birds.
The Dirty Birds going down. Dirty Birds looked really good against an awful team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Absolutely, yeah. Matty Ice looked like Terry Bradshaw.
He did. He looked like a young Terry Bradshaw, not a nowadays Terry Bradshaw.
Not bald Terry Bradshaw.
Doing commercials.
With Alf.
With Alf. Yeah, for Radio Shack. Not that kind of nonsense, but a Terry Bradshaw in his prime. So I don't think Atlanta wins this game. I think New York has a new offensive scheme that they're working out really well. I like the way that they played last week. I think
they looked good against
they looked real good against
Washington.
Yes, they looked really good, and I think they're finally coming back into being that Super Bowl team that they were.
It's high caliber. That's
playing a high caliber offense. New York. They're the team on the rise right now. They got nothing left to lose.
If this was a TV Guides issue, they would get a cheers instead of a jeer.
Oh, they totally would. St. Louis Rams going to Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles had a rough one this week.
Not good. Not good at all. The winning streak is over.
The winning streak's over. Sad days in Philadelphia. It's not always sunny there today. For last Sunday.
They're crying at both Pat's and Geno's cheesesteaks.
But they'll win this week because they're playing against the St. Louis Rams, who are a fucking awful team that nobody has any faith in. Next up, Chicago Bears.
Monsters of the Midway.
The Monsters of the Midway heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Panthers got upset this week, and they got upset, and they also got upset, which is why I think this will be the one game that we don't agree on. I think Carolina beats Chicago.
You do.
That's my one disagreement with you this week, Ron Harvey. We don't disagree that much about things. But I think Carolina is going to beat Chicago because Chicago both got upset. And they're at home. They're out for some fucking justice.
Ric Flair's going to be on the sidelines in his robe.
Ric Flair went to San Francisco last year and totally sold out Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's why he's one of the greatest heels of all time.
He is the greatest.
He's going to sell out.
Greatest heel of all time. But you know who the Carolina Panthers have in their corner this game?
Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat. Nobody knows that.
P.U. Woo! What's that smell? Oh, it's a stinker of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Everlast Field and playing the Brock Bortleman and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, Bottleman, we had such hopes for you this year.
The Jaguars, I think the Jaguars might be worse than the Raiders. It might be worse than the Rams. It might be bad as the Bucs. All the Florida teams stink, really, this year.
Yeah, Florida's not that good.
It's a terrible state.
It's a terrible state. We're just going to come out and say it. We don't like them.
We don't like you, Florida.
The only thing, as we've said before, the only good thing that ever come out of your state is Fred Durst, and that's not saying much. And I don't think anybody's picking Jacksonville in this game.
Even though Pittsburgh just got beat by Tampa Bay, I think
it doesn't matter. Now they hate Florida as much as we do.
Absolutely, I think Coach Omar Epps and Ben Roethlisberger are like, we can't have this happen again. Even though the Steelers are not that good this year, I think last week really ticked them off. Ben Roethlisberger, he probably kicked a chain link fence. Too, after last week's loss. And I think they're ready to pound on the Jaguars. The Jaguars had a few pretty good first halves. The first half against the Eagles in week 1, then the first half in San Diego last week. They looked okay. But the second half, they don't play the second half. It's like the new stock boy down at the Dollar Tree who smokes like 3 joints.
Yeah, on his lunch break.
On his lunch break.
He puffs a couple left-handed cigarettes.
And I'm like, hey, we got some tins of Doritos that need to be stacked. The Dollar Tree, you can only find tins of Doritos at the Dollar Tree. I don't
Yeah.
like to bring my work into it too much.
No, I know you don't. I know you.
But I got to tell you,
but it has to be said.
you haven't tasted a nacho cheese Dorito unless you have it in the tin. It's
I know.
like how Coke tastes different.
Exactly.
Soda tastes different whether it's in a bottle or in a can.
Yeah.
It tastes better in the tin.
Than it does in the bag.
In the bag.
Yeah, definitely. Why are people listening to us when we say this?
And they only cost $1. If you go to a Dollar Tree or I don't know, I don't go to our competitors, but
And at halftime, he smokes 2-3 of those left-handed cigarettes, and
a little bit of Grandpa's secret stash.
he doesn't come back. He comes back a different guy, and he doesn't
He just zones out. He sits
Doesn't give it his all.
staring at the Sesame Street balloons.
Next up, we got
That is a good opposite.
Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals.
3-0.
Cardinals 3-0. Going to Denver, Colorado.
Mile
the
high.
Mile high, if you will, city, because they can smoke weed there legally. I gotta go with Denver just because Arizona is a warm weather team. Denver is a tougher arena to play in, even at this time of year. It's not super cold yet, but it's also the altitude, and it's also not a dry, sandy desert that Arizona is used to dealing with.
Yep.
And Denver is still kind of pissed off about the Super Bowl loss. I think Denver takes this one over
I
the
think
Arizona
so
Cardinals.
too, and especially since Carson Palmer might not even be starting.
Yeah.
You might get Drew Henson playing.
Yeah, Drew Henson, not the best. Coming up next, something we hate to say, we picked the San Diego Chargers.
An old AFL matchup, old AFL teams.
I hate to pick anybody in the AFC West, but I feel like right now the AFC West is playing pretty good, except for our beloved Oakland Raiders.
The silver and black
The silver and black will always
are a
be
little bit
my
whack right now.
my heart and my lungs will always be black, and I'll always, I'll always have some sort of silver as long as there's a couple nickels in my pocket. So I'll always be silver and black. But I gotta go with the AFC West rivalry, probably their tightest rivalry, the San Diego Chargers, because the New York Jets, they're not looking that good with Gina Love. Like I don't see them winning. So we're going with Slam Diego.
Slam Diego, that's got to go with Slam Diego. I think
Tough.
at home, but you got to do it.
Yeah, New York's going to travel all the way to Slam Diego. You got to worry about getting stabbed in that arena because it's full of Mexicans. It's a dangerous place to be.
It's right near Mexico, so the water might not be that good.
The water's not that good. You got to bring your own bottles. If you forget, and you can only bring a little bit on the plane, so you know you're screwed when you get there. I see fucking Rivers Phoenix throwing for 2 or 3 touchdowns over the New York Jets. Bing bang boom, done.
Yep, Chargers, Slam Diego.
And Kansas City is traveling to San Francisco this week.
Alex Smith returns.
The Alex Smith Bowl that everyone's been waiting for. Literally everyone has been like, what's going to happen when Alex Smith returns to the town that told him, no, that Copernicus kid with all the tattoos is better than you because you got hurt, and he led us to a Super Bowl that he lost, and it hasn't done a whole lot since.
Alex Smith looked good last week.
Alex Smith did look good. He did look good against the Patriots, but it's easy to look good against the Patriots because their offensive line is made up of guys who feel like I could probably sneak by with insults, and I could just be like, oh, hey, no, I'm on the list. And they'd be like, oh, right on in. They're like bouncers at a shitty bar.
Bad bounces.
Bad bounces. You just go in and tell them, oh, the guy that's playing in the band, yeah, the band that's playing tonight, yeah, that's my cousin.
But the San Francisco 49ers are probably better than the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Colin Copernicus is probably better than Tom Brady scrambling for his life because he's being blocked by a bunch of guys they found at Lowe's in Waltham.
Yeah.
So I gotta go. This is gonna be a good one. I think this is the Fox game of the week.
I think this is also the Joe Timmons Ron Harvey game of the week.
This is Joe Timmons and Ron. This is the Joe Timmons.
This is the Kansas City and San Francisco proving ground right here. Because whichever team wins this proves that they're not as shitty as
the other
people have been saying they are.
Yeah.
Because both of them were really good last year, but haven't been so good this year. we'll say. They had their moments and they had their not so good moments. So this is a proving ground between two teams that have a lot to prove. We're both going with the Golden Gate San Francisco 49ers heavy favorites.
If you want a game where Tom Brady will probably look bad and Sully and Murph from Dorchester are going to be screaming.
Oh, those Irish pricks.
They'll be, fire Belichick, fire Belichick. They're going to be angry. They're going to be throwing their legal seafood clam chowder at us.
Yeah.
Their Sam Adams beer. They're going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm. We're both going with
Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football
to fucking Foxborough Stadium, Gillette House of fucking Brady, and smash the bejesus out of the New England Patriots. Something we've been waiting most of our lives.
I've been waiting
to see happen again.
15 years for this.
It's been a while since the Patriots have been this bad, and Jesus Christ, am I getting a fucking boner watching it happen.